Well, today I want to share with you a question, which is, how do you know that you're protected against fraud in your organization? I'll start with this presentation here from the study of the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. It's about nonprofits, and it really tells us this, that they are more susceptible to fraud, primarily because they have fewer resources available to prevent and recover from that. Especially nonprofits are vulnerable because they have less oversight and lack of internal controls. You can see here in their report from 2020 that in 191 nonprofit cases of fraud, the median loss was 75,000, but the average loss was 634. You see a further breakdown there, but I really want to talk to you today about what you can do to protect yourself. See, fraud is really kind of a mystery. We don't ever want to think that it happens, but here is a description of sort of the environment that it will happen in. This fraud triangle is really well known, and I'm sorry that I can't really give it credit to one individual. It's kind of just lived and been around. I don't have a single person to attribute it to, but it's a very powerful tool. And it tells us that for fraud to occur, there is this triangle of factors. The first one is a motivation. For the person to steal, they have to have a motivation. I need something. Oftentimes it can be a pure motivation, like I have a sick kid, I have a husband who's lost a job. There can be motivations that drive someone to do it. The second aspect on the left there is rationalization. They also have to feel like they deserve something. Maybe they don't feel appreciated. Maybe they feel like the role that they do is overlooked and that the contribution they make is so significant that they're not paid for the value that they feel they bring. So that those two things, interestingly enough, have nothing to do with the nonprofit. They have most to do with the individual feeling a certain way. The last one on the right is the opportunity. The only variable that the organization controls is the opportunity for that individual to commit fraud. So I like to think about it in the realm of an umbrella of protection. You know, the protection that each of us are under in an organization when we're handling finances is, yes, ultimately God, the fear of God, the knowledge that God sees everything and that we will give an account for everything we do. And that protection transfers to the governance oversight of the board. If it's in a church, you might have a senior pastor. That sort of covering starts to move down. And financial staff find themselves under this umbrella of protection. And they're protected when we do the things that make them safe. That means that we put systems and processes in place. We have verifications and review of finances. These are the things that will help you to protect your organization from fraud and those individuals from being susceptible to an opportunity where they could commit that fraud. So I wanted to share that with you today. And I also just want to encourage you, if this seems a little overwhelming or you're not really sure where to start, I have an assessment on my website. It's just an assessment tool that can help you answer just 12 questions that will expose some of the areas where these opportunities most often exist. And they may be areas where you can start using what you have, volunteers and multiple staff or board members to help create a checks and balances system that really does protect the organization and keeping individuals who may be at risk from falling into that trap.